All right, good evening. Welcome to Magic After Midnight Tarot. I am adding a new feature to this uh, to this channel, this platform. This is a game of tarot that is interactive and involves. It's a perspective game. Uh, Everyone who participates, actively participates correctly, does the assignment, will receive a link for scheduling a private reading with me. That's absolutely free of charge. Because if you offer your energy, I am more than willing to offer mine. This is a interactive participation game of tarot. You don't have to have any kind of knowledge of astrology. Only your sun sign matters here. You don't have to have any tarot experience. These cards are clean and clear. They have no energy. They don't carry my energy. These cards are used solely for the purpose of open read. This is an open read. It is not governed by any sign. All signs are welcome to this read. I would like to offer you the chance to read, offer your participation, offer your perspective. And if you do this assignment correctly, it's going to be simple. If you do this assignment and participate, then you'll be receiving a link to contact me for a private reading, a half hour private reading where we will explore the tarot further for you. First, I'd like to say a few things. Number one, nobody can solve your problem. If you're here looking for answers, I promise you nobody's going to give you your answers. And if you're here looking for answers, you obviously aren't able to find them on your own. So you're looking for something. And I'm not going to do the work for you, and I don't expect you to do it alone. So this game is designed solely for the purpose of active conversation that offers options for solution and resolution finding, resolving conflict, resolving issues, all kinds of things. This can do many, many things, and every one of you in this read is equal. There's no pro, there's no better than, every perspective is equally as valuable as the next. Everyone. So, whatever you see and offer up has value. And I like this game to be a conversation, not. There's no argument because every perspective is an opinion and everyone has the right to that. So there's no point in argument. No one has to think like you, and you have no obligation to think like anyone else. Actually, independent thinkers find this very interesting game. Okay, here's how the play is done. The top card here on each of these spots. These are major arcana. They represent the past, recent past. This is a chapter. Present chapter. And near future chapter. Just these cards. The top card here are the major arcana. They are the main thing. And then their main clue or the main issue that's being struggled with at the moment. And the two cards underneath are the clues to how that plays out or help you to determine the story at hand as it plays. The three cards on the bottom are options, possible outcomes for any of these reads. These are possible outcomes, the end process, okay? So when you're reading this chapter, it will move then the top card, next, and move into the top card, and so on, and so on. When you get down to the bottom, you choose whatever outcome you believe your story most resembles. And that's possible option for the solving of the mystery. Do you understand? So, I I I invite you to look at these cards closely. Each one, I'll read them and explain. I'll do the first read to get this ball rolling, and then I invite you to comment. And what I'd like to see here, the assignment is you don't have to know anything more than your sun sign. Your first comment, your first part is I am. I am. I am Pisces, and this is what I see. And this is how I see this. And this is my perspective. And this is my perspective. And give a quick overview and how you see it would play out. Now, that means that each of you individually sees the world in a different place, a different way. So your story will somehow impact you and address something of you as a possible outcome. Now, also, I'd like to tell you that I this comes to me from my grandfather. My grandfather was a fix-it. I'm a fix-it. We're all fix-its. My grandfather was a fix-it man, but never a fix-it on your own man. So the rules of any time we were to fix something, let's say my car's smoking or plunking or making a noise, and I come in the driveway and say, Grandpa, my car's making this really weird noise. And he says, well, what's it doing? And I go, clunk, clunk, clunk. And he says, that's not good enough. You're going to need better details. That's your minor. Then he says, and then when you're done with that, don't come to the table without your possibility, what you think is wrong, what you think, where you think, what part you think is bad, what you think is going on. I can't solve this for you. You can't solve this alone. But together, we'll come up with a lot more than apart. Does that make sense? I mean, this is how the game's actually played. Each of these cards houses everything you need to know to put the story together. And it doesn't have to be difficult. Just whatever comes to you when you're going through. And just remember the order in which it moves and flows. And I'll do the first read. And then it's yours. You can zoom in on the cards, take a good look, read them for yourself, give it some time. If you do the assignment, if you participate, if you offer your participation, you offer a piece of you, then you deserve that free read. And that's very deserving, because what it tells me is that you'll value it, or you will, it will matter. Because most of the time, people make decisions. Your whole life is a series of decisions. And every decision takes you to a different destination. So that's your life. That's life. Part of life is also exploring your inner self, as well as the appreciation, respect, and learning from others. It doesn't mean that you isolate and only know yourself. It means that you work together as a unit to find the best possible solution for betterment of everyone. That may not always be the best thing, but it may not always be the worst. My grandfather always, don't come to this table without everything you have that you figured out and a possible solution. Then we can start. There are other people who say, offer the first line of the story and we'll take it from there. Okay, everyone takes it from there. But your perspective is unique, your perspective is valuable, your perspective is yours. And sharing it offers possibility. It offers bounce from others who say, hey, that part, I could use that. That makes sense. And that makes sense. And that plays into mine. And then all together, we are a better unit. Believe it or not, we were all once connected anyway in a very large light. All of us connected. All of us. We will be back there someday. All connected the same way as a part of Source. We're here to experience individuality, and that is exactly what this game is. It expresses your personal individuality. And let me tell you, a lot of your opinions are going to be the same, they just look different because they apply only to your situation. Have you ever watched two people argue? The outcome for each of them is what suits them. The truth is somewhere in the middle. Well, we want to explore the gray area here. That is what the tarot can be used for. And anyone can play along. Anyone can play. Don't think you're not good at it. You are every bit as good as everyone else because your opinion is every bit as important. Okay, so we have first Temperance. This is in the recent past. The Temperance card, and it is in the upright position for you, for your reader. And so I'm going to consider it upright for me as well, but I'm going to place them so that they're easy for you to see and understand. Temperance in the upright position. This is the recent past, okay? This is the big deal. This is what's been happening. It's patience. It's been waiting. You've been sitting and waiting, and when it's in the upright position, this is I'm not in this. You do need to also realize that in this game, these cards are clean. These are open read cards. These cards are not. They have no energy of mine in them. They have the energy of a whole collective. This invites every sign. I do not call out signs. I do not call out energies. This is all sign. This is an all sign open read. This calls on you to participate. It's a game. And let's play. And see what we can come up with. Temperance in the upright position. The Temperance card is avoid extremes and in any direction. Taking the middle ground, the middle road in decision making to all things. Try to bring balance. Go forward with patience and test the waters carefully before jumping in too quickly. Jumping in too quickly. I'm still not quite well from my injury. Be sure you examine your priorities carefully. And if you notice in the Temperance card, it is an angel mixing cups. That's bringing together two energies, okay? Remember that. Because the bringing together or the mixing of energies is the problem solving. And it takes temperance and patience. Balance, harmony, moderation, patience, being sensible, purpose, finding meaning. That's what we're doing here. Okay, that's the Temperance. That's the main focus for the recent past. And what the two underneath signify are the clues as to what you're being patient about, or what the patience card is here for, and why and how in the story. So it looks like, so far, There's patience involved. Then we have Five of Cups in the upright position that you will see. This is the first clue to the patience card sitting here in the recent past. Five of Cups. You're suffering a big heartbreak. Perhaps a divorce, breakup, abandonment, or bereavement. With all the negative connections, sorry about that, all the negative connotations that this card can bring, there is the possible message that no matter how dire your situation, there's always a silver lining. You just need to choose to see it. Okay, this is a card of acceptance, loss, sorrow, moving on, finding peace, personal setbacks, self-forgiveness, and bereavement. Now, what this card basically is saying is that even the struggles and hardships in your life, they are valuable and they have meaning. They're there to offer a hand in learning, to go forward, in courage, in the things that matter the most. This is a struggle card, and that is very valuable. Struggle is important for movement, period. And that is the Five of Cups in the upright position under the Temperance. Next clue to the Temperance being here in the recent past is the Four of Cups in the upright position. You're feeling stagnant and are having a hard time focusing on the things that once made you happy and fulfilled. Be mindful of possible opportunities. You may be inclined to pass up on events. But may realize later that they would have led to amazing things. This is a card of meditation, contemplation, apathy, revelation, restlessness, disconnection, and boredom. Now, do you see how these cards can form your recent past and form a recent past? I would put these together and say, you know, it's been a hard time. You maybe suffered a loss, and you need to find yourself again. You need to mix the waters in your soul and find your heart again. You're bored and you're unhappy and you don't know whether to get on with it. That's how I would see this chapter moving forward. This is how you've been feeling lately. This is a person who is sad, lonely, maybe suffered a loss, but they're patiently working their way back. It's hard, but they are doing the work correctly and trying not to overstep, not to make mistakes. Going forward, here's the current energy. The top card is our major arcana, and that is the Devil in reverse. Now, can you see how these things can roll into something like the devil, where you might get hung up on something or get angry and before acceptance, be overwhelmed with materialism and the living and the loss and the material. You understand? This is the devil in the reverse position. That is releasing limiting beliefs, exploring dark thoughts, which you are doing here as you're mixing through the waters, detachment, freedom, restoring control, resentment, and lack of will. Now, does that not can you see how that might play right into coming into this time right now? It's very recent past, coming into today, or to now, right at this moment. Then here are our clues. This is the Five of Wands in the upright position. This is a struggle with oneself, competition, debates, rivalry, conflict, disagreements, strife, tension, territorial, clashing in egos, and pity, and being petty. The Five of Wands. Oh, the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is a teacher. The Five of Wands, tensions are high, and you're in the midst of a conflict. You're in the midst of a conflict. Competition or change that is impacting your ability to move forward. You and the others involved are unable to find common ground. Everyone is fighting to be heard, and yet no one is listening. Calm yourself, calm the storm, and listen to what the others have to say, even though it may not be easy to do. Try to be open and encourage productivity. Try to be open to it, because you can see how that brings you into this time. The next clue for why you are sinking into this devil energy is the Three of Swords in the upright position. In the upright position, it's never easy. It's never easy to hear at the moment. But grief and heartbreak can be defeating and character building, can be defining and character building. This suffering you're experiencing is recent. It's meant to make you stronger rather than focusing on the past. Focus on what's ahead. Dust yourself off and keep on going. You kind of have to. But do you see how this is moving along? Heartbreak and suffering, grief, emotional pain, sorrow, hurt and divorce, loss, depression, betrayal, disability, disloyalty, delays, upset, and confusion. This is a hard card to see, but it also contains within it a lot of growth. Okay, heartbreak always carries new experience, new growth, opportunity, even if it seems so terrible at the moment. The opportunity is enormous for it. Now we get into the future, our close future, very, very close. Shadows of our future, the future cards. The first card, the major arcana for our future, is Judgment. Judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase, absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption, forgiveness, and mercy. The upright positioning of Judgment indicates a moment of self-reflection. only a moment. You're likely close to reaching a significant stage in a journey. This journey may not have been an easy one, and you may find comfort in sharing your struggles with others to find camaraderie. Now is the time to face challenges head on. Do you understand how this is going? You see how this game is playing? Here's a clue to how we're reaching judgment in our near future. The Queen of Wands. I say it's Wands. He messed that up. In the upright position for you. You're finding yourself to be self-aware and confident as you're discovering your life's purpose. You know what you want and how to get it. Stay I get this. Stay laser. I don't know what that means. I think we messed up. Focus. Stay laser focus. And laser focus. Laser focus, I guess. And keep that friendly optimism attitude. It'll serve you. It'll serve you well. The Queen of Wands in the upright is courage, confidence, independence, focused, zest for life, determination, and joy. There is joy. And you remember it well. All right. The next card and our very last piece of this tale, and then we get to our options, is the King of Cups in the reverse position. Emotionally unbalanced. Oops, in the reverse for you. Sorry about that. Cold and bad advice. Emotional manipulation. Moodiness and self-comparison. Inner feelings. Secretive, ashamed, and volatile. Okay, so now, here's how I see this. I see. There's been a loss. There's been a huge loss. It's a heartbreak. It's a terrible, terrible time. There's crying, there's sadness, and there's loneliness and sorrow. But so everyone has to get on with it. Because life goes on, doesn't it? And we have to get up and live. But it's okay to sit in this feeling for a minute. Everyone has the right to however long it takes to find acceptance. And you do as well. So this read tells me that it's a struggle and you're fighting back your depression. The depression is eating you alive and you're fighting with it. This is an argument with oneself, with one's conscience, with one's heart, with one's very soul. How am I going to go on without? How am I going to continue with this loss? It drives you to the future, into the devil, where you are angry. And you are having the hardest time making acceptance. It's a chain. It's a shadow. It binds you. And it hurts so much you can't escape the pain. The shackles on the people in this card are absolutely metaphorical pain. They're painful. You can release yourself, but you choose to be angry and be unhappy and sorrowful. You choose this moment to grieve, and that is quite all right. Grieving for whatever it is you've lost. But you also know that fighting it is getting you nowhere. You're just fighting and fighting and fighting. It's wearing you down. It's wearing you down on the inside. This fight isn't with anyone else. This fight is with yourself. And everyone is trying to get you out of this slump and you won't hear them. You will fight to stay in your sadness because you feel comforted by it right now. You can't imagine stepping forward. Makes you feel guilty because you're here without. And you know the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is devastating. It just breaks you down, but you do realize that it is a leap forward. You have to get out of this slump, and you know that this is true. You know this. You know that this has to happen. You know you have no choice. You know that sometime soon you have to make a decision. You know it. You know that the hardest times are the greatest lessons. You know these things. Everyone is speaking them around you. It seems like everything's etched on pillows everywhere. I mean, we got bumper stickers. I mean, people are speaking in bumper stickers, and it's just a lot to take. Driving you into judgment, judging people and yourself. You don't want to be angry with anyone, but they're driving you insane with this behavior. They want these people to care about you. These people love you, and they want you to get up and move on because they're afraid that you'll fall and you'll never be retrievable. But that's not you, and you know this. You know what you have to do. You can get on with this, okay? And then you have the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, I know I have to power through, and this is the clue to this. I have to power through, and I'm gonna have to. There is no getting around it, and I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna absolutely have to power through. I'm gonna have to be cold-hearted about it. Let it go and move forward. Now, the options. Which option do you think this story ends in? The Empress in the upper. You're experiencing new life. Now, you know these things and you know the options you have. Experiencing new life. Maybe in the form of a pregnancy, a new child, a birth from a death, romance, business, or elsewhere. The Empress, positioned upright, may also be a signal that it's time to be kind to yourself and invest time to self-care. Take comfort in knowing that the Empress has you back. Abundance and nurturing. These are the people around you who care. This is an option. You have the right, and they've allowed you, and they've given you allowance to come to them. Will you do that? It's an option. Option number 2, the Star. In the upright. The Star. You have a renewed sense of self and magic in flowing all around you. This is a time of great personal growth and development. Give of yourself and your spirit. Learn from what's happened to you and help someone else, as others may benefit from the blessings you've received. Even though you don't think they're blessings throughout the read, perhaps you come to the fact that they are, and you can share them with someone else and see them that way. Bad things are only bad things until you make wisdom from them. Then they become. Then the regret that it could have been is gone. Hope, calm, healing, faith, purpose, renewal, spirituality, fortune, good omen, rejuvenation. That's the Star. And that is another option, possibility for the outcome of this reading. And the last one is the Lovers. Perhaps you'll make the choice to find someone new and fall in love again. The Lovers in the upright position signifies decisions, relationships. So maybe perhaps you have to let something go. The temptation of the heart, or a choice of personal partners. A selection will need to, that selection will need to be made. That should not be taken lightly. You need to determine what is truly important to you and hold on to your beliefs. The Lovers in the upright. Love, harmony, relationships, union, partnerships, and sexuality. Passion and values. Alignment, strength of two together. Deep love and a choice is a choice. Deep love is a choice. And that's the third option. Now, perhaps you hadn't noticed. Maybe you hadn't noticed, but I see this. I see this now. This is just my perspective. Remember, sorrow, sadness, hard time, challenge. Keep your patience and keep your cool. So hard to do. The depression leading to anger and frustration and bitterness towards those who are trying to help and love you. Finally coming to a judgment and finally reaching a conclusion that you have got to move on. You know you have to move on. And finally accepting the help of your friends and your family and the others around you who are making sense, who care deeply, and don't want to see you sorrowful and sad. And if you hadn't noticed, through this entire spread, all three of those options are magnificent turnout. They are all a better choice. They are all a good outcome. Every one of those cards has value written all over it. It has a lesson learned. It has a love to offer. It has selflessness. It has a new partnership. It has new children. It has nurturing. It has caring. It has started. So, if you're wondering which option, every option, or perhaps none, all, every one of them. There's a very good possibility that because this was such a difficult hurdle to cross, every one of those options is something, is a reward. You may experience everything there. In succession or in any order. You may experience every single one of those outcomes because you fought so hard to get there, to find your way back. Now, that's how I read the story. Please take the time to look it over. I'd love to hear your perspective. It can even be similar to mine, I don't care. But I don't want you copying or plagiarizing or being silly. This is not a silly thing. I'm offering up my time to help someone in a crisis or who has an issue, and to be there for them as much as I can. And what I'm offering to you comes with a price that you have to pay too. It's not free, even though it's free. It's not monetary. It's not a monetary thing. I am not giving a gift like this to someone unworthy. I won't give this gift to people who aren't worthy, whose hearts and minds are not open, who are only here to be angry and bitter. We gotta open our hearts, folks. If you want that read, you want to work it out, participate and show me that you can. You're capable. It's within you, and you want it. All right. Thank you very much for participating, and I look forward to the comments. If you comment, like I asked, shoot a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. But if you do the comment, remember, I am your sun sign. I am Capricorn. I am Pisces. I am Aries. I am fill in the blank. And this is my perspective. Fill in the blank. Thank y'all. And then you can, if you do the work here, if you participate, you'll find within a day of your comment a link for you to contact me, or a way to contact me to arrange a private reading just between us. I don't give this away very often. It's important. I also use my horses as healers. So if you live in the vicinity or you're somewhere close, there's a chance that you may have a reading in person. I love that. I love personal readings in person. I love having that energy. It's just easy to work with when it's up close, especially when it touches one of my horses. Trust me. I'll feel every ounce of your energy the moment my horses touch you. All right. Thank you, and I hope to see good comments, plenty of them. I love perspective. This is the Game of Tarot. This is a random read. This read will happen once a month, and it will always give away free readings. Please like and subscribe. This is not geared for a sun sign of any kind. This is geared solely for the perspective and for active participation of the viewer, as well as myself. And let's work together and play a little tarot, yeah? Have a good